Hunger is a big part of Vintage Story. Hunting and gathering in the early game is crucial. Gathering berries, hunting animals, but a person can only live on berries and meat for so long. Maybe a farm. Something like this? Let me show you how it's done. Let's go. Wild vegetables can be found throughout the entire Vintage Story world. You can see here we found some, and I'm breaking them even though they're not ready to be harvested because we're just after the seeds. I think this is something that early on you're going to think, oh, I'm going to leave them in the ground, but you need these seeds. So my suggestion is, as you find them, as you see them in the world, no matter what stage of the growth process they're in, break them, harvest them, take those seeds back home. We're going to need them. Before we build the farm, we need to talk about soil. There are 4 types we're going to deal with: low, medium, high fertility, and ultra high, and also 3 nutrient levels, N, P, and K. And you can see here by the 2 graphics I've made what the fertility rates are and the nutrient levels and how quickly they replenish. We'll be using medium fertility soil today because it is abundant and easy to get a hold of. The other 2, high fertility and Terra Petra, we're going to find those. We're going to make those. Terra is found throughout the world, and the high fertility is made through composting, which we'll cover in a whole nother video. So now that we know about soil, let's go build a farm. All right, the hard part is here. We need to build the farm. I have an idea of how I want it laid out. I basically make the same kind of farm, just at scale every single time. We're gonna make a nice, easy to maintain, small one this time. I'm gonna dig 4 trenches. We're gonna surround the farm with a fence. I've made like this simple fence. You have to put a fence up. I'm not kidding you. The minute you plant something, rabbits from all over the planet will come for whatever you've planted. Test it. It's the funniest thing ever. Plant something, leave it, watch it, and rabbits will come and eat it all. So you have to, otherwise you'll have nothing left and all of your hard work will go to waste. So build a fence. Now that the fence is up, let's fill these trenches full of water. I have a bucket here to fill them. It's super easy to do. I realize that if you're in the early game and you have a farm, it may be hard to get a bucket. You do not need to build these trenches. You can craft a jug and then water them by hand. This just makes it so you don't have to water them. Trenches filled, let's grab a hoe and let's begin to till. This is a simple process. Remember that once the ground is tilled, it cannot be picked back up without destroying the block. Looking good. Looking ready for, I don't know, some seeds? Let's do some planting. Your selection of seeds in the beginning will be limited just because it's what you're going to find first. And so the important thing is to get them into the ground. Here it looks like we've got some carrots and some spelt and some onions. So let's get them planted. And then as we find more seeds, we'll put them in, and hopefully we're going to find some flax because it's so important. As we get farther down the line, we'll begin to worry about rotation and which grows better in what climate and the temperature and all that stuff. So the important part is let's start growing. I wanted to touch briefly on fertilizer, and it's not a huge part of the early game farming for sure. The first time I farmed, I didn't even know it existed. But as you get further along in the game, you're going to come across a bunch of different elements that you can then grind down into fertilizer, and it will make the crops faster, the yields bigger. I've put this nice graphic on the screen that kind of shows you. I've put some of them here in my bags. We've got potash, and you can see it's good for K, and saltpeter, which is good for, N and P, and then we've got bone meal, which is actually the easiest because you get so many bones from killing animals, and it's good for N. And then compost, which we're going to talk about in another video, is good for fertilizing N, P, and K. So these are good later game elements that I highly recommend you put some time into, and they're really easy to put on the ground, as you see here. And you can put multiple on, and as you can see, it really improves the fertility of the ground. And, happy ground, happy crops, happy drags. The time has finally come. It looks as though all of the seeds are up. You can see I found some more and planted them. All the crops may not be ready all at once, but it doesn't matter. Let's get in here and let's harvest some of them out. We can see that just by looking at them, most of it's ready. There's some numbers that indicate if it's fully grown or not fully grown. Wait till it's fully grown. But let's go ahead and harvest. We're going to take our knife and we're gonna start picking up this spelt. Look at it, great. And we're gonna get back a seed and whatever vegetable drops. Now we can also use a scythe here, and I just learned this the other day. Look at this cutting power. Yeah, so if you want to get in here and just kill it, you can build one of these and it'll take down multiples at once. I rarely do this just because I don't usually have one on me, and the knife is just as effective and easy, and especially if you are in between crops, right? Saying, okay, hey, half of it's done and half of it's not. This works great if everything is ready to harvest. There's not enough time in this video to explain all of the different seed types and weather and how it's effective, but there's a great section in the wiki that talks about all the different seeds and when they should be grown and at what temperature. I'll put a link in the description, so go and check that out, and that'll help you with rotation. All right, the harvest is complete, and now we rinse and repeat and start again. The harvest is in. Let's make some yummy food. We got a cook pot here. We're gonna throw 3 vegetables in, and we're gonna make something that we can take with us on all of our expeditions. Food and food growth and preparation is one of my favorite parts of this game. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Bon appetit. The video's over. Now it's time for you to do your part. Follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.